wrestling fans? You got the show Bill Schuyler here at 1WRESTLING's Showtime with You Got the Show. That's right, it is myself, Bill Schuyler, at You Got the Show, and also from the Big Slam Nation, my friends. That's right, every Saturday you will catch the Big Slam Nation with all the news coming at you from across the world. But right now, we're here to talk a little Q&A. And we got a little information coming out this week, so I got a little bit different things to talk about. Everybody had the same kind of questions, so I kind of jumped it into one. Everybody wanted to know why and what is wrong with pro wrestling today. And my friends, I came up with a list of my reasons for what's wrong with it. But one problem we got right now is for TNA Wrestling. TNA Wrestling is on its deathbed. It's going out. Panda Entertainment, the parents, Dixie Carter, stopped giving them money some 6 months ago. There's no more money coming in except for what they're making from the product, which is not much. So much so that she just asked the talent to work 2 weeks for free to appear on television. And you wonder why Bobby Roode and Eric Young left the company and everybody else continued to go. The company is going to be bought. There's three major players that seem to be out there with that. Joe Koff, COO of Ring of Honor, Sinclair Broadcasting, he put out talking in interviews that Sinclair Wrestling is in the wrestling business, and they are looking to purchase every wrestling company that comes available down the road. So if a company like Ring of Honor finds TNA and they're able to afford it, they're going to buy it. They want to grow. They want to become national. They want to get bigger and bigger. So that means to me, it sounds like Sinclair is interested in buying Ring of Honor, which would give them a national television show along with the ability to have pay-per-views on TV and not on internet pay-per-views anymore. That's a big deal, and it's more money. And they can either bury TNA, make it just make it Ring of Honor, or they could have those guys wrestle against each other in a feud. There's so much different things they can do booking-wise with that. It could be quite interesting, and it should make a major dent in pro wrestling in the United States. Billy Corgan and a consortium of guys I don't know who are interested in buying TNA as well. They say Billy Corgan is really close to signing this deal. He's been with the company for a while. Dixie likes him. She trusts him. He wants the company. He promotes a show, a wrestling company out in Chicago, so he knows the business. He's a huge fan. But see, I don't know who the other guys are. I don't know if they want to be part of the creative end. And if they don't, and they just want to put the money in and be part of the company, that's great. I don't want to see them interfering with the booker, okay, or the booking team. I want there to be a booker, not a booker team. I want there to be a booker and then a main guy that says yes or no to products before it goes out, like it used to be. And then, of course, the McMahons are always out there lurking. Would Vince buy TNA? I don't know. But would Shane McMahon or Triple H or Stephanie buy TNA and have a small company like that and be able to run it with the company or run it solo? There's a lot of stuff that they could do. You know, Shane came back. Shane could buy that company and go, like I always talk about, and before it was Shane buying TNA for real, and then using the money and going to war against his father. And how great that would be that they could actually do that and eventually work together at WrestleMania, where they wouldn't touch all year. They would just talk, maybe a couple invasion actions here and there, guys getting jumped, in parking lots or bars, all kinds of booking things you could do that were done for years. And then you have the major pay-per-view where the two of them clash. A lot of stuff to be done, but I'm always a little leery when it comes to the McMahons buying wrestling companies, because they tend, look at what they did with WCW. They buried it. They completely destroyed everything about it, the entire history for all effects and purposes, except unless you have the network, and then you get to see it all you want. And now, this is the other problem. You want reasons why people aren't watching the show. Primarily, see, the product has went down since the Royal Rumble. Every pay-per-view since the Rumble, including WrestleMania, less and less people are watching Raw and SmackDown. That's bad, and that's not the way that it normally is. This is the biggest, usually, wrestling time of the year, and the ratings are usually very high. They're not this year, and that's a big problem. And here's what needs to be done to fix wrestling. When I talk wrestling, mostly I'm talking the WWE because they're the biggest in the country right now. But everybody else can follow suit. Basically, nobody should be no-selling finisher moves, big moves that are primarily done by wrestlers and stuff like that. If that's their legit move, if it's a DDT, if it's a super kick, if it's something off the top or whatever it is, that's it. Those guys don't get up. A lot of times the guy who did it back in the day, he was laid out because it was so devastating to him. And it should make it look like these guys are killing themselves in the ring without really doing it. It's called pro wrestling, and that's how it was done. Instead of having everything be so, I don't know, acrobatic, it takes away some of the reality that pro wrestling just is. I love a lot of the guys on the indies. Huge Young Bucks fan, but what they're doing is hurting themselves and the business. And eventually, they're making a lot of money, and I think they're looking at they're not going to be in the business forever because they only have so many bumps, and they're really taking a lot of them and doing a lot of them right now. And if they would just slow it down a little and let their kicks and their fantastic finishers and moves they do be done and have them pay off and not have guys not get up. They should not be jumping up after delivering some of these moves. So like with that, there's too many high spots. Why are we doing all these killer high spots? These guys are putting themselves at risk at just regular matches. What happened to just wrestling? They just wrestle, and then if it gets into a feud and it builds up and it builds up, and then they have their pay-per-view, and at that pay-per-view, all bets are off. Then you get these big high spot moves, you get these crazy things going. That includes things, cage matches, street fights, Hell in a Cell. Any of these events, they should be something special. Okay, not something scheduled on the map. That, we're gonna have Hell in a Cell on this month. We're gonna. Why? It makes no sense. Hell in a Cell was always set up for the end of a feud, and that's how it should still be. And it should not be used as its own pay-per-view. If you used it and stuck it, if you put a Hell in a Cell match in WrestleMania, people would go crazy and they would buy that and be all over that because you took Hell in a Cell away. There's no pay-per-view for Hell in a Cell, and now it shows up at different, a few pay-per-views maybe a year. Maybe. Awesome idea right there. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. I'm right. I'm not wrong. Same thing with tables, ladders, and chairs. You can't have these every single night. People get tired of them, and it doesn't work. It's just passé. And you got guys who go through these tables and get bashed through these chairs, and they still get up and they do what they were doing before. Nobody gets hurt. Nobody's selling. You can't do this and not sell the fight. You got to get hit. You got to go down. That's the way it is. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Too many part-time wrestlers in the business. Guys who are out there in Hollywood, and then they come in twice a year, get paid a lot of money, and then they disappear. I don't like that. I think they could be utilizing them for a major event and not just popping in to pop in. The Rock just did that at WrestleMania. He shows up, he rips his pants off, and he's got his wrestling gear on, right? And then he fights the Wyatt family, and he beats them all, two of them anyway, like in 30 seconds. Why couldn't he just do that in street clothes? Why would he have who walks around with all their gear on? It was retarded. It was stupid. And it was, to me, it just was not entertaining because it wasn't real. If The Rock just went to town, ripped his shirt off, buttons flying, and just started swinging on those guys, and they had a big blow up in the ring, that would have been something to see. Not this. That was just ridiculous. Referees need to be made to be important men in the match. They are the third man in that match. They are the ones who help or hinder a heel in what they do in the ring. They also are involved with ring psychology. They're able to do what needs to be done and not do what needs to be done every match to make those guys look like superstars. And, in this day and age, they got earpieces. They're able to be told what to do. It's not like they don't know and they got to wing it. It's a different world, and it would come off. And when I grew up, you knew who all the referees were, and you knew who could be messed with and who couldn't, who got shoved and who would push back, who would disqualify you right away, all kinds of stuff. You don't have that anymore, and you don't know who these referees are, and it's a shame. You got to bring back color. You got to continue to be bringing back blood. Not too much, not every week, not every month even. What Shane's done already with that little bit of blood and all that was perfect. It made a big splash when that blood happened, and people were really excited about it because they haven't seen it in so long. So now you don't do it again for at least another 6 months. Save that blood for a major spot, something huge that means something. And you got to end these bad owners of the companies. It's passé. It's over. NWO's not here anymore. The wrestling war between WCW, the Monday Night Wars are over. Mr. McMahon is not Mr. McMahon anymore. Eric Bischoff isn't there anymore. Okay, even Eric Bischoff and TNA and Vince Russo, all these guys, they're gone. Ring of Honor doesn't have an evil owner. All right, they just have an owner. Why can't you just have an owner? New Japan just has an owner. Evolve has an owner. The companies in England, was it Progress and like that? They have owners. They don't have evil owners. You got these guys that want to be evil, hated heels, and then they want to go out and hand out medals and hug kids with cancer, and we go on cancer runs with women and get their pictures taken and shaking hands and all that kind of stuff. And then you come out the next night and you're talking about how you hate the fans and they're no good and they're useless and stuff like that. It makes no sense. If you want to be a face, be a face. If you want to be a heel, be a heel. Your company should be run by a GM who runs the company, and the owners and stuff like that should be back and out of that now. Do that. It's different from what's going on everywhere else. And just have it be here in the States. Be the first one to do it like that. You're the biggest company. The McMahons pull back. They put a GM in and let the GM be the GM. And that's the end of it. You got to bring kayfabe back as much as you can. And that means that, these guys, you can't have these guys fighting in these big brawls and then they're hanging out at the bar at the hotel. Come down to just like in the old days. If you got caught doing that in the old days, you got fined, or they threw you off the tour. They can do the same thing with this. You don't drink with the guy you're fighting with. You don't train with the guy you're fighting with. You don't need to have Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker at Gold's Gym in front of everybody working out together. Okay, it makes no sense. It ruins everything because they're supposed to hate each other. And now you got these guys spotting him at the on the bench press, and he's not killing them. There's no need for those guys to be seen in public. Everybody's got a camera, and everybody's looking. Everybody's trying to catch what they can. So kayfabe can be done as much as possible. At least kayfabe it in the company, inside as much as you can, where these guys are real. Make it you got your Total Divas show. Make it more kayfabe. Make it where these guys, I hate this, and my husband can't stand this guy. He got attacked by him. I'm not talking about. Run with it like that. That would be great. And then stop pushing too many talents that fans do not like down our throats as baby faces. It started with John Cena for years, and he continues to get boos. He's probably the most over heel in the company, yet he's supposed to be the number one good guy. The fans love to boo him. He loves to be booed. He needs to be a heel. If he turned heel, oh my God, it would be unbelievable. Roman Reigns, my friend, is your new guy that you're trying to make into John Cena. He is not a good guy. He can't be a good guy. It's not working out. Roman Reigns needs to be a heel. And here's a gift for you. You have Roman Reigns lose the title to AJ Styles. Have all his family, the Usos down there, trying to help out. They get beat down by Bulletproof. They're laid out. He wakes up, realizes he don't have a belt. His cousins are beat down. And he gets pissed off. And he says, I don't need you. I don't need you. And he lays out them and destroys the Usos. The following week, he goes to Rikishi's house and beats up Rikishi. Have him go to the Samoans' gym, their training center, and go in there and smack around Alpha and Sika and Samu and beat them all down. And have this go on for a few months. And then there's only one Samoan that's been avoiding him, or he's been avoiding, and that's The Rock. And that's a perfect big spot for a guy to come in and wrestle and have him beat the hell out of The Rock. And that will make him the biggest heel in the WWE, bar none. Nobody will want anything to do but to hate on Roman Reigns, and let him love it and let him be that heel on TV and in the ring. It works out. There's plenty of guys that were heels their entire lives that don't make it as a face anywhere. Stan Hansen, Bruiser Brody, Terry Funk, the original Samoans, Alpha and Sika. Those guys scared the living hell out of me as kids when I saw them in the ring and I met them. Because when I met them, they acted like the wild Samoans. They didn't talk. They grunted. They and came at me and pawed at me. It was they played the whole thing with Lou Albano, the whole deal. That's what we're missing. That I want to see. I don't want to see a guy that's supposed to be this crazy guy, and then I catch him at poolside, and he's sitting there sipping a margarita and stuff and chilling out reading People magazine. It doesn't fit. You know what I mean? If you're going to be a heel, then in the public, you need to be a heel. That's just the way it is. You're going to be seen as a heel, be a heel. That means if you need to be a jerk, be a jerk. Not to the point that you're going to go to jail, you're going to get in a fight with somebody, but I mean, be that guy like, I'm not taking pictures with you. I don't want to see this. No, go away. No. See, I don't talk to you. You want to see me, pay for me, see me, go see me in the ring. Stuff like that. That, my friends, I think would change things in the industry big time. These are my things, what I say need to be done to change the business. Let me know what you think about what I said, and put down below when you like and subscribe, and fill in the words and tell me what you would do to change professional wrestling to make it better today. See if you agree or disagree with what I did, and make sure you put down your Twitter handle, your Facebook handle, if you got a wrestling promotion, or you do a podcast or a video, or you're just looking to catch and get involved with other wrestling fans. Leave your marker on there. I will post you on there next week, and I will put you out there and your company and your name and all that for free, my friends. Free advertisement for you, and everybody can check out what you're doing or come see you and check you out on Twitter and Facebook, and we'll have a ball and guys can get together. Again, Big Slam Nation, at Big Slam Nation. Follow myself at You Got the Show, El Jefe Mero, Big Ray Hernandez at Big Ray's Show, Billy Ray Valentine at Obi-Wan You Know Me, The Dirtiest in the City, 8-Track Brown, Pharaoh of Fancy, and that's put all in caps. And we got Snapchat Extraordinaire, The Nature Boy Fame Black at Fame Black, OK Fabe at OK Fabe, and Professor P.W. Hustle. That's PROFPW Hustle. And then we go to England and we got Kenny Killer and Tom Brady. Because like I said, we are spreading out across the world, my friends. And we are in the UK now. Well, we're looking to move into Germany and others will across Europe and maybe into Japan finally. That would be awesome. But we're working at it one country, one people at a time. You know what I mean? We can only go so far, so fast. But we're making big things. Now they got a new podcast involved here with Big Ray does it. It's Big Ray and the Wrestling Chick. Check that out. That comes out. Check out the Big Slam Nation page and Big Ray's page, and you'll see when it's up there. And of course, the PW Hustle podcast on Podbean. That's for adults only. That's Billy Ray Valentine. That's 8-Track Brown, Fame Black, the Professor, sometimes Ray. And speaking of Ray, Big Ray is on WrestleZone Radio every single Wednesday with the man Nick Hausman at WZ Rebel. The best in the business. WrestleZone is on top of it as far as wrestling radio goes, my friends. And Bill Apter is also part of WrestleZone on there every Friday, giving out and talking what he talked about in the business today. So with that, again, I am the show, Bill Schuyler. Follow me at You Got the Show. Follow us at Big Slam Nation. And, of course, follow Bill Apter at Apter 1WRESTLING. And with that, my friends, make sure you put your questions down below so I'll have your answers. And if I don't see you at the matches, guess I'll see you down the road.
This match is over. He's about to hit him with the big slam.
Again, thanks for your support, and we'll see you at the matches right here, OneWrestling.com.